Happy Saturday. We are getting ready for baseball season. As you can see, we for the Tigers. Yep, we are for the Tigers. April the 5th is our first Tigers game. I'm excited. I haven't decided if I'm going to go to the first game or not, but it's something that's not off the table. But I thought I would kick this week off the last day in Women's International Month with the Detroit Tigers sweater. I hope y'all don't mind. I'm going to use this as my camera holder because I forgot mine. So don't worry about, the person or whatever. They didn't sponsor this show. So, and it's beautiful outside. And see, you know what? This weather is bipolar. One day it's raining, the next day it's warm. The next day it look like we got flurries. It's just too much. It's too much to handle. But I'm here and I'm enjoying the weather. I'm back. I'm back. I struggled for a whole week and a half because of my hair. I had to miss my hair appointment last week because I forgot I told my employee that I would work for him so he can go on vacation. And I did not remember that it was the week for my hair to be done. So I've been walking around all week looking like a ragamuffin. Don't ask me what that is. I don't know. I heard my mother say it when I was young. And I just continue to say it up into my adulthood. So if you know what a ragamuffin is, put it in the comment section because I don't know. I don't know what they look like. I just don't know. But today, we, meaning myself and producer Suave, that's what he wanted to be called. I don't know. But producer Suave, we're going to be talking about sex. Yes, the three-letter word. Sex.
Suave was a joke.
And Suave was a joke. Okay. Super producer Rico. That's my name for him. Y'all can't call him that. Just call him Rico. But we're gonna be talking about sex. I know. On Facebook, we don't want to get in Facebook jail, so we spell it differently. Although I think the word sex is fine on Facebook. But I usually put, XES. You know how we be clever with our words and stuff like that. And instead of spelling words that could be deemed as a word that will get some attention, we spell it a whole different way. You know how creative we are. And that's one of the things we want to talk about today. Let's talk about sex and being creative. Oh, wait a minute now. I'm not talking about creative in having sex. Well, maybe I am. I don't know. Let's just explore this together because my garage has been shut for a long time. And we got to figure out why. Is it because I'm saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost? Or is it because nobody is worthy of pulling up and me opening up the garage? Some of y'all open up y'all garage to anybody. Now, hey, that's your business. That don't have nothing to do with me. I don't care. I don't care to discuss it in a negative, way. If that's what you do, that's what you do. I'm about women empowerment. So, more power to you, sister. And I think women should be able to explore themselves freely, sexually, mentally, educationally, across the board, spiritually, without any negative vibe from the people in the peanut gallery. Sometimes we push our beliefs off onto other people because we have a strong ideology of how we feel. Whether we disregard what somebody else feel, whether we disregard their beliefs, their culture, just the season that they are in their life, we want people to acquiesce to how they feel or you feel at the moment that you feeling without any regard to how they're feeling. So we want to talk about that because y'all ain't right. Or heck, maybe I'm not right. But let's have a conversation. You can always call in. I don't know the number. Oh, there it is. It's on the screen. 1-248-508-3460. Call in, give your opinion. Also, put it in the comment section. I can't really see who's on there, but I see my girl, Dr. Vatanji. Thank you for stopping by the table virtually. I appreciate you for coming, and stopping by the table and let's having a conversation because this is a hot topic. Last week, I kind of got toe up because the garage is not open. And a question that was put out to me was, what I'm waiting for? If you ain't opening up the garage, then what? And no matter what answer you give, it's not going to be sufficient enough for the person that wants to pull in. I'm talking in codes. But ain't no children around here. So we can talk how we want to talk, okay? Because we got to have these conversations. And it's not an indictment on the man that you would. Just because I'm not putting out don't mean there's something wrong with him. It doesn't mean that I don't want to do it with him. There can be some other stuff going on. And we're going to explore those things. Producer Rico is trying to get the camera and stuff but he's going to come on and he's going to give his, his thought process and stuff like that. I think his process or his thinking is maybe different than most fellas because we've had this conversation before. Some guys is like, stop holding on to the treasures. Give it up. Let it out. Let loose. But that's not Rico's thought process. So he says. I don't know. We're going to ask him. Because most guys want it. But most guys are not as impressed or hard up as some guys. So maybe some guys are just more hypersexual than others. Does that mean that they have no self-control? I don't know. You ready, Rico? Because I got all these questions just throwing out there. And I just want to know, what y'all think? What's the deal? Call in. Let us know. I don't know. I got a whole lot of questions. I know one of the questions, and I wrote something down when I was sitting in the car, before I came in because I wasn't able to go back home to get my stuff or whatever. And we just want to stop and pause real quick because I had a guest for today, but because there was a family death, we're going to have to postpone it. But whenever she comes to the table, it's still Women's Month when she comes to the table because I am so excited about this guest because she's of age. She's a senior and she has so much wisdom that she want to just, release to the younger generation. And I am elated about having her at the table. So we're going to put off that conversation and we're going to talk about sex today, okay? Because on the cuff, I had nothing else to talk about. And I didn't really want to talk about current events because it's beautiful outside. I don't want my blood pressure up. I don't want to be texting or going on a rampage about this administration. So I'm like, yeah, let me opt out today. So when we talk about this question, has been given like 50 million times, like every single time that a woman is asked, what can you offer a man outside of sex? And I just think it's weird to me to even get asked that question, because why can't you think beyond sex and the qualities that women bring to the table? That's crazy to me. So if something happens to her, or God forbid, because you're so hypersexual, something happened to you, then the question becomes, what can you bring to the table? Because if that's all you think about, and I know men and women are different, men are more, and I stopped when I said that because now I don't know, women are out there just like men. But you find that a lot of men are more hypersexual than women. And the first thing they say is, besides sex, or on my birthday, other than sex, like, what can you bring to the table? So I wrote some stuff down. Women contribute a lot of things. I mean, the list can go on and on and on and on. When you think about the totality of a woman, just think about all the good things. Now, there may be some bad things, but think about all the good things that a woman brings to the table.
What are some of the good things?
Emotional support. Now, y'all know y'all brothers be needing some emotional support. Because y'all always say the world is against you. Your mama's against you. You ain't talk to your daddy. Your kids don't mess with you because of the baby mama, drama. So emotional support is what women bring to you.
It probably depends on a woman. Emotional
Yeah.
support is important.
But that's a positive aspect. That doesn't mean everybody bring it, but I'm just naming some stuff that they can bring. What about leadership skill? A woman has to be multitasking. That's the word. When it comes to dating a man or in a household with a man, she got to be able to do 50 different things. And if you put 50 different things on a man, we're going to have an issue.
I
He
think
going
it
to tell.
depends on the man.
Do you think a man could be equal to a woman in the household? Just on the leadership skill in the household. You talking about cooking, cleaning. You talking about dealing with the children, their education, her working, her, personal issues, him, his work, his clothes, his dinner, the list goes on and on and on. And most times, men, they don't do all those things. Not saying that they can't. Most men are used to women taking on that leadership role in the household. Most men are used to going to work and providing. And do you know, handing over the card when she needs it from time to time? Okay, all the time. Okay. Okay, so leadership. What about creativity? You got to be creative when it comes to keeping a relationship going. You got to be creative when raising children. This world is totally different than when our parents was growing up. You got to be involved in a community, which extends to what, other people, other people's kids, different causes. It's a whole lot of stuff that's going on.
It still happens, but that's not what's going on in the masses right now.
Do you not think that? Okay, what you think is going on?
Well, I think a lot of people just lost.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people don't have the knowledge of self. I feel like if you start to learn yourself,
Mhm.
and it depends on how you was raised, but it's not just that. You have to, that's a head start if you raised with, a certain type of way and a certain understanding or whatever. But you have a lot of people who you supposed to evolve, but a lot of people what they feel is evolution is not really evolving. A lot of stuff we going backwards or whatever.
Mhm.
To me, in my opinion. Um, I do feel like men and women, it all depends on, like, I feel like in any situation, especially nowadays, it's like whatever situation that you're in,
Hmm.
I believe both people should put like 100%
Absolutely.
into the relationship and the family and the household. So I don't believe like the woman should be the only one that's cooking and cleaning, but it depends on the situation. If the guy is just working and taking care of everything, and then the woman is a stay at home mom or something like that, yeah, in that situation. But it depends on what's going on in these people's lives. Most people nowadays have a two income household.
Yeah.
So if the woman is working 8 hours, 10 hours, sometimes even 12 hours, depending on where they
And in
work
my case,
at,
16 hours.
you know, so it's like a guy should want to take some of that responsibility off of her.
Hmm.
Sometimes she come home, have the meal cooked for her,
Yeah.
have the bath water ran
Yeah.
or whatever, you know what I'm saying? A bubble bath, a Epsom salt, a Calgon,
Hmm.
whatever she want. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? If you have children, both people should put in far as in the household, making sure sometimes she might have to work later. So the guy, if he don't have to work early in the morning, then he take the children to
Yeah.
school or something, or to the bus stop, or make sure they got their lunches and stuff. So I believe it's just both people, if both of them working together as a team, then you're going to accomplish the goal. So it all depends on your schedules and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just like a business. If we have a business together, we need to look at what's your strong points,
Yeah.
what's my strong points, and them, that be the main focus. But at the same time, if I'm in the business with somebody, I want to learn everything that I can, because if they're not there, I need to be able to step in and hold it
Absolutely.
down.
Absolutely. But when you think about, okay, let's just put myself on the chopping block for just a second. So, um, I'm working two full-time jobs right now. So, working from 7:20 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then still having to keep up with, I'm an advocate for children in the foster care system. So, still having to keep up with my case loads, having to, I'm a vice president, second vice president in my sorority. My podcast
They probably can hear you.
We live? I
They
think we're
sure can see
back.
it because it's saying rebooting the system. I can see where you put that on there.
I think we're back. It's showing on my phone. Okay, guys, we had to reboot.
You go ahead. I think it's on.
We live.
If you can see yourself, then it's on.
Yeah, I can see myself. Something going on. We don't know.
It's on.
We don't have a clue. But we back. I gotta figure out where I do my heart at.
They can see it.
Nope, I'm on the wrong side. So I'm gonna have to do my heart over here. That way you can see it. Anywho, I'm gonna figure it out. But I know that sex is important, especially to men. Okay, maybe I need to come down a little bit. I gotta figure it out, guys. Don't worry about it. So we know sex is important to men and to women. Now, don't get it twisted. Sex is important to women. I don't think we are just that's not the first thing for us when we come to the table. We want to know that your heart is in the right place. We want to know that your spirit is in the right place. We want to know that ain't no BS going on. You know what I'm saying? We're not just another notch on your belt. Because we ain't got time for that. Because I'm not chasing behind no man. Nope. I'm not going to be calling no man all day. Nope. If interest is not shown, listen, life goes on. We got too much to do to be waiting to see. No. As Burger King say, have it your way. Like, have it your way. If you out here and, you for the streets, go ahead and be for the streets. Don't drag me in the streets because I don't want to play that game. I always say, listen, let somebody choose if they want to be a part of the circus or the game. Don't include me to the board game that I didn't ask to play. That's just cruel. And women, don't let a man tell you twice that he don't want you. That's crazy. That's nasty work. That's nasty work. Somewhere down the line, I think that we have lost self-respect for ourselves. Because now all a man have to do is spit some game to us, and if it sound good, then we good. Nope. Worth and value means a lot. And you got to come up in your value. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate that. That's one of my childhood friends. We lived on Hayton in 7 Mile together when we were kids.
Yeah.
We grew up together. He said, Carmen, I am so proud of you. Words don't do me any justice. I can't find any words to describe it. I know your mother and brother would be too. My mother would be elated if she was here and I had a podcast. My mother would be in the comments. My mother would be calling and she would be telling everybody in the world that I'm her daughter and how proud she is of me. So I really appreciate that. I do. I appreciate that. We all got to get together and go out to dinner. But back to the conversation. Sex matters. But I don't think sex matters or is not on the top of women's list as it is men. Men is, I don't know, Rico, is it sex and then respect or respect and then sex? Both of them is up there. Like he having a hard time saying which one.
No, the respect has got to be there, but at the same time, I'm all about balance.
Okay.
So it's like sex is not the biggest thing in a relationship, but it's like it is big though, because as far as the level of intimacy, if I like you like that or love you like that and I'm really into you, then when we actually come together, it's like if you
Fireworks.
feel that oneness, yeah, if you feel that oneness, it's like you really acting out the connection that you already feel with a person. That's different than I'm just trying to get my rocks off and this, that. So it's a difference in the level of
Can the acting out be
intimacy.
something other than sex?
Yeah, it's in numerous ways. I'm just saying it's balance. The sex is part of it, but it's like
That's the icing on the cake.
say if it's a situation where it's like it's something that's going on
Hmm.
where they just can't have sex or whatever. I think the difference is when it comes
Who is
to
they? The man or the woman?
either. It could be something wrong with either of them for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? It could be something they're going through physical. Somebody could get hurt or anything. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody is just withholding, I feel like that's where the issue comes in. That
So I'm withholding
not really you different because you're not already with the,
a significant other.
yeah. So that's different. If you're saving yourself, but I feel like it depends on how it's brought to the table.
Yeah, it's not. Now let me get something real clear because I know people want my garage open, but I have to defend myself. Yes, what I'm saying, I'm saved. I believe in what the word of God says. And I've had 2 children. And some people be like, well, if you have children, how do you go back to keeping yourself? I don't think that because you have children, that cancels out you learning, you're growing, you becoming aware, you becoming more wiser when it comes to sexual expression or anything like that. So I don't think one cancels out the other. Now, am I waiting for marriage? I would love to wait for marriage. However, I do also realize that I'm in my 50s. And if, and I have to be careful what I say because people, are weird. But my ultimate goal is to wait until I'm married. I have no issues with that. I understand that a lot of men do. Um, but the right man for me is not going to make me or coerce me or push me or try to manipulate me into doing something that I don't want to do. I think when it happens, it would just happen. And it will happen because I decided it will happen.
See, that's the key word that you said. Um, I believe it should happen naturally, especially like if you're really into somebody. If me and you dating, I'm really into you. I feel like I'm not gonna be like just super pressed, but I do feel sometimes what might throw somebody off. Now, if we having a conversation and it comes out, that's different. But if it's like if that's the first thing that comes out, and I believe that's where the problem comes in sometimes, it's because some people, it's nothing wrong with it being a badge of honor or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that's how they feel or whatever. But I do feel sometimes that throws people off.
Well, I'm proud that I'm, celibate. I'm proud that I'm keeping myself. I'm proud that you can't gather 10 men in the city of Detroit together to say they've slept with Carmen. I'm proud that I don't have men, jumping out my bushes or, what I'm saying,
Yeah.
texting me crazy stuff in the midnight hour. I'm proud about that. I don't have to deal with
Yeah.
that kind of
See,
stuff.
that's something that like
It's a level of
me,
peace
I
there.
respect that. And it's like I would want a woman who I could put on the pedestal who a whole bunch of other guys haven't had.
Hmm.
So I just feel like speaking just from as a man's point of view, not just me personally,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna add a little bit of my personal thoughts in there too. But I'm just saying if off the rip it could become intimidating to some men, especially if
Okay.
they feel like off rip, she's already saying that she ain't gonna do this, she ain't gonna do that, and I'm waiting until I'm getting married or
Hmm.
whatever. So it's like, me personally, um, if a woman has been celibate for a while and she's not um doing anything unless she's in a committed relationship, that's where the difference me. If a woman just told me she wasn't having sex until she got married,
Hmm.
then I don't know if I would pursue that. But it all depends on if I felt like that I was being just guided in that direction like that. But if I found that out later as we are getting to know each other, that might be different. But I'm saying, if I know from day one that she's not having sex until marriage, then I'm not sure that I would actually
You wouldn't wait on her.
pursue that. But if I knew she was saving herself for the right person
Hmm.
and to be in a committed relationship, and looking at that committed relationship as we dating with purpose to
Hmm.
get married, that's different. And I would say it's similar to um the tree of knowledge.
Yeah.
In the beginning, when they bit the fruit, it's like, now you see things, it's shame and this, that, and other. I think it's the same thing with sex. Once we start having, we're, pushing, I'll be 50 this year and you already 50.
Hmm.
So it's like, when you already done had children, you already done had sex, you already bit the forbidden fruit.
Right.
Not to say that you can't learn from that, but at the same time, it's like, we want to see, at least in most cases, you want to see how compatible are you beyond that. Because it's like, say if you like just about everything about that person, but then y'all wait until you get married,
Hmm.
but you already have been sexual active, so you know what you like and don't like, and then you cross that path with that person. Most
And it's
likely,
not
if
good.
y'all chemistry, yeah, most likely if y'all chemistry is like that, it's gonna be good, but not in all cases.
But do
Some
you think
cases it
that?
might be something, and it's like,
Do you
if
think
you
you can
don't feel
teach?
that, that's an issue.
You don't think you should? You can teach her how to be what you need for you?
No, I don't feel like you can teach chemistry, because
No, 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 no. I'm saying if the
I understand
chemistry
what
is
you're
there.
saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, you can see, chemistry to me is on all different levels.
Okay.
And I've just learned that over my years. I have dated someone before, in like far as business wise,
Hmm.
and touching me in like an intelligent type of way, stimulating my mind and stuff like
Hmm.
that. I have that with them. But when it came to the sex, that was something different or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I had the
What, they wasn't
opposite
as freaky
before.
as you wanted them to be?
So it's not about freaky to
No,
me.
I'm just
It's that,
asking.
no, see, somebody can do all of the things that you want and desire,
Hmm.
but it's about how they make you feel when they do
Absolutely.
it. So it's still something about chemistry. I have been with somebody who, like, the sex was immaculate,
Hmm.
but it's like they didn't turn me on in other
So
ways.
after the sex, it was like, wow.
See, I'm all about balance. So sometimes I might have tried to, like, okay, well, let me still work with them and try to see if I can build. But if the sex is the only thing that's good, then that's going to become a problem too. I'm still going to be seeking something from somewhere else, because
Yeah.
now I need to get my mind stimulated somewhere else. If I want to start a business, I got to build with somebody else. I want it all in one. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure that we're well rounded and everything is there. So I do feel
Do
like she
we do
should.
we have unrealistic expectations? Because we've been out there, and when I say we've, I'm including myself, but some things I'm excluding myself in. Do we have unrealistic expectation because we've opened up our appetite to a place that maybe we shouldn't have until we came together with the person that God has for us? So you get married, or I get married, and I like the way that John used to, flip me and, rub on me. And then I get married to, Sam, and Sam quite don't touch me like John used to. And now when I'm with Sam, now I'm thinking about John.
I think that depends on the individual. See, me, I'm a little bit different.
Sex.
I'm a little bit different. So it's not about
She asked what's the
like,
topic. I said sex.
it's not about like what somebody else has done,
Okay.
at least for me. because it's some things that I experienced with one woman I would never even think of experiencing with another woman. To me, it's about me and that woman, how we come together, our experience. But it's a sense of a connection that I have to feel with that person or whatever. And if I don't feel that, you can like, well, we talking about sex and we grown. Somebody can give me head all day, massage my feet, my back, cook for me, everything. But it's like, if they don't make me feel a certain way, none of that still is not going to mean anything. So some people can give you the sex, but if the connection is still not there, I might not desire them like that.
So
So
does that go back to what I first initially said, where it's it's incumbent upon us to really like be friends and grow that intimacy or that bond between the two before we even think about sex. Because I feel like if you have that foundation where we're connecting, sex is only like the cherry on top, you know. So if we're connecting here, sex should make it better.
yeah,
Or again, have our expectations for the opposite sex have gotten out of control based on society's thought process or ideology of what we should expect from the person that we take into our life.
I would say in some cases, and I'll just say it depends on the individual. Like, I'm gonna give you another example.
And you guys can always call in as well.
I'm gonna give you another example. That's just like, say somebody is like, well, women usually use a different term than guys. Guy might be like a woman who's beautiful. I've dealt with some beautiful women, but some of the most beautiful women that I've ever dealt with in my life is other stuff that was missing, that after a while it made them start to look ugly because of what they was missing.
Okay.
And then some of the most beautiful women, they sex might not always be good neither. Or just like some of the women who everybody, they look at like, why do people like the Holly Berries and this? I'm just naming people who
Yeah.
they feel, who they
Yeah.
say is beautiful.
Nina
Beyonce
Long,
and all that.
Beyonce. Well,
A
I ain't
lot
heard
of
nobody
them.
say nothing about Beyonce now. You
Nah,
going
well,
too
she
far. No, I'm just
married though.
playing.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just
I'm just
saying
playing.
an image of somebody who people feel is beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, they ain't really have to say too much, but they did say that the reason why Solange attacked Jay in the elevator is because he cheated on her.
Okay.
So most people be looking at, oh, you a fool, you would cheat
cheat
on
on
Beyonce.
Beyonce,
It
yeah.
might have been something that was missing. We don't know they household. He could have just had a big appetite, or because he's Jay, but it could have been something that he felt was missing. We don't know.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's situation is different. I'm just saying, I have dealt with some very beautiful women, and most of them wasn't the ones who I even considered marrying. Some of them, at some point, it just seemed like it was a trophy, just something to have on my arm when I'm going, but I don't give a damn what other people think about me.
So what if
it's
it's
not
like a
about
Beyonce
that.
situation, since you brought that up? Beyonce is like the cream of the crop to some people. But if you look at their relationship, and I don't know what goes on behind closed doors, I don't even suggest what's going on in their house, but just from the outside looking in, Beyonce get a lot of attention. A heck of a lot of attention. No matter what room she go into, what room she come in, what room she come out of. It's going to be always somebody gawking at her. Now, because she is on a pedestal in society and the world, what if, because she feel like she's the it, she doesn't give him that attention when they behind closed doors?
Things like that would become an issue at some point.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a lot of different things that it can be. That's just like, I was talking to one of my exes one day about something, and it's like, when it comes to building and traveling and doing this, we were great when it comes to all those things. But I was like, when you look back on it, it's certain things we both have to take accountability for and look at. So it's like, sometimes it becomes, certain things can become a poison in a relationship if you don't end up dealing with it when, from jump or whatever. Like, some things, like, say if you have somebody and y'all doing great things together, but it's like, in certain ways they shooting shots at you or kind of putting you down
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. That
Mm-hmm.
happens on both ends. Sometimes the male towards a woman, sometimes the woman towards a man. So if you feel like somebody is downing you in certain ways, and they might not even mean to do it,
Yeah.
but if they're doing that, that's going to become an issue, especially um, when you have other people who looking at you. We can talk about Jay and Beyonce. That's the same thing.
Oh,
'Cause
absolutely.
if Jay's getting money like that and doing his thing, everybody else looking at him like he a god.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So if she's not looking at him like that, that could become a problem.
Absolutely.
But even I can relate to the situation because I've always been like in whatever circles I was in, no matter if it was school or neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been somebody who was popular or was looked
Hey,
up to,
Darrell.
and people view me a certain type of way.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a woman and she doesn't view you in that type of way, but everybody else is giving you that attention, and vice versa. A lot of times it's like,
Should no man
Men
or no
do that
woman
with
get
women.
more attention from anybody more than they get the attention from their spouse? That's just crazy to me. You know, he shouldn't, and I'm saying he because I date men, but he shouldn't feel like, man, this other woman or these women notice this about me and my girl ain't said nothing. You know what I'm saying? Before he go out the door, I should be telling him how handsome he is or how fine he is before he hit the street. And another woman say, "Ooh, you fine." He'd be like, "I know my girl told me that before I left the house." You know what I'm saying? Or my woman. It shouldn't be nothing that he gets from the streets that he don't get from home.
yeah, I think this part of the issue too, and this is something that I've been guilty of before, at least I was told. I don't have a problem with telling a woman that she's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with telling a woman something that she does that's good.
Okay.
But it's like sometimes,
Now, when you say "but," that cancels out what you just said.
no, because I'm about to give an example.
However,
I'm taking responsibility for something that I've done before.
Okay,
So
let's
when
hear
I
it.
say but, I'm giving an example. So it's like sometimes we get caught up so much in our day to day in our life, and then
Okay.
you're used to being with that person and being around them, and you may think, oh, she's beautiful and whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's how you treat her and all that.
Yeah.
But once you start, and not saying that you don't supposed to, but a lot of times we point certain things out. And you're really just trying to help them. Or like, baby, that that don't look right, or this or that, or
what you
whatever.
talking about? Give me an example.
It could be anything. It could be something that she's doing. Like, say you shoot a podcast.
Okay.
So say I'm watching your podcast, and in your mind, like, I know I do a good job on my podcast. I had a hell of an interview, but instead of me telling you, because I'm a producer,
Yeah.
so I'm looking at the technical stuff. And not to say that you didn't do a good job, but it might be something that I seen that was off.
Yeah.
And I might have been like, well, baby, you did a good job, but you need to work on this, that, and other, whatever. Some people, the part that I said you did a good job, that'll go all the way out the window because
They
they
stick
stuck
on
on
that
you
negative.
always pointing something out that I'm doing. But it's like, and like, actually that we do supposed to point it out, but I guess we have to learn how to give more of the praise and the compliments too,
Yep.
or even if
Yep.
after we point it out. So if I gave you a good job first and then pointed this out, maybe I still need to give you that extra comfort in the end to let you know, but you are doing a good job, baby, this, that, and other. So sometimes
Yeah.
I may have not done that part. So then the person is looking
I hear
at
what
it
you're
like
saying.
you always pointing out the bad part, or some things that's simple to us but might mean something big to somebody else. You my woman or my wife, you cook dinner for me every day, and it's good. You've been cooking this stuff. We've been together for years. So if I don't tell you every day, like, I might even say thank you and it was a good meal, but I don't be like, get done eating. That meal was good. Some people be looking at it like you don't appreciate it, and so they ask you.
No, I
Well,
think
how
that's
was,
a valid
how was
point.
the meal? And I'd be like, it was good, baby. But you don't never tell me what, that's how sometimes people be that way.
But it depends on the
No.
woman because some part of a love language. Some people need, that words of affirmation. So that you have to know the person that you're dating. Like, you might need words of affirmation. And I'm out here trying to buy you stuff that's gonna make you happy, and you like, oh, okay, thank you. Me buying you something that's not gonna do anything for you because you receive words of affirmation, and that's what gets you going. Like with me, I'm not a type of one. I don't care. I can care less about materialistic stuff. So you buying me stuff, and even like I've had men to buy me like expensive stuff and stuff like that, and it's okay. But what am I gonna do with it after he give it to me? The first thing I'm thinking about is who can I bless with it? Because I'm not into that kind of stuff. You know, yeah, I think you have to know the person that you with. And I think that's all encompass on how your sexual desire for that person, goes to the next level. And I do believe that's true, even on something as trivial as about 7 or 8 years ago, I was doing parent teacher conference. I had this child that was just so bad, so bad. I mean, it was like I think I told the mother one time, y'all not doing nothing with this boy at home, like nothing. And the parent came to parent teacher conference, and I said, ma'am, I said he does this, he does that, he doesn't do. And the mom say, Miss Evans, you don't ever say anything good about him. And I sat back and I thought about it. I said, you know what, you right. I said, you right. And I had to dig deep to find something good to say about that kid. But that taught me a lesson, going forth. So even now, when I have parent teacher conference or when I'm talking to someone or something like that, I make sure that when we leave the conversation, they're walking away with something that will produce growth. Something they can walk away feeling good about. Now, maybe having a conversation with a man may not all be peaches and cream, but at the end of the conversation, if we are still putting positivity at the end or speaking words of encouragement, then at the end he can possibly say, okay, I'm not all that bad. She do see this in me, or she does, I do see that in her. Yeah, because if you start off, I guess that's true. If you start off telling me what I ain't, I'm gonna be thinking about that. Even if I decide to have sex with you, the way my mind works, I will be going over and over in my head about
Even with
that kind of
that, I'm
stuff.
gonna give you another example of something. Like, and this is from a male point of view, because like sometimes men have that ego.
Hmm.
Women do too, but I'm just
Hmm.
saying, like, from a male point of view. Like, say if I'm used to like women praising me for my sex game. I'm
Okay.
used to them praising me for that. But I deal with somebody, and not say that they didn't like it, but say if because sometimes it all depends on, and this is a true story, right? There was a
Hmm.
situation. She was like, why you don't really talk?
Hmm.
You don't really talk that much. Now I'd have, it all depends on the situation,
Man, you gotta
you
talk.
know. It
Okay,
all
you
depends
can't be
on
silent now.
but see, if you're concentrating on pleasing that woman, and if I know I done
Well,
pleased
moan, do
them,
something, make some kind of noise. Let us know that you
it
still
depends.
living.
So okay. Well, hold up. This is what I'm saying. I'm not even saying I was totally silent, but
Uh-huh.
my response though is like, it was a negative response, but I was telling the truth
What was
though.
the negative response?
My response was like, if you want me to make noise or want me to talk,
Hmm. Give you
you
something to
you
talk about?
yeah, you have to do something to make me talk, so I'm not gonna just fake moan and none of that,
But you
or
know that
fake, you know what I'm
if
saying,
you
and
talk,
then
that makes her do more
I'm a
because
man. Like, how loud do you want me to moan? So you know what I'm saying? So it all depends on, it's like, we both have to connect with each other to make it, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and
yeah.
people are just different people, because it don't like, if she not doing a lot of talking, it ain't gonna necessarily bother me, but you want to know that if anything, it's gonna make me work harder. Then it's another myth, but this depends on some people. Some people think because
Y'all
if
can
you
always call in and tell us what you
some people
think. You don't
think
have to give your name.
if you come quick in the situation,
Ooh.
some people think because some people look at that person, the 2 minute brother and stuff or whatever.
You can come quick, but you better the next time
So
round you better hold it.
so that ain't what I'm the part what I'm talking about. I'm saying some women think if you come quick, they be thinking like they coochie was so good.
It do. Come on, stop
But that's
playing.
not true.
Stop playing.
That's not true. If I'm ever in a situation, me personally, can't speak
If you
for
up
every
in
guy.
there and it's warm and she didn't hit the right listen, she didn't hit the right move and you come, that coochie was the bomb. Y'all stop.
That's not
Don't
true.
take that from her.
That's not true. So
Don't take
listen,
that from
so
her,
you have
Rico.
to listen. No, I can show and prove anything that I'm talking about, or whatever. It's like when it comes to like, if I don't like you like that,
Okay.
and I'm not vibing with you like that, but we done started,
You gonna hurry up and finish?
then yeah. But it's just naturally I might come quicker because I'm not feeling you like that. But when I'm feeling you like that, and we vibe and we connected, I'm gonna go damn near all day until you ready. I'm not gonna come and be done until you tell me to. I have a sense of mind control and of my body like that. If I'm feeling you like that, I don't want to never come up out of you because I'm feeling like that. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
So every situation is different. Some guys, but I ain't never had something that was just far as not some head. I done had some head that was so out cold I came quick. But far as us just having sex, if I come quick, because I'm not a 2 minute brother, that mean I probably wasn't really into you like
But ain't
that.
nothing wrong with a 2 minute brother, from time to time. Now, we call those quickies. Like Bernie Mac say, I got mad, you better hurry up and get yours. So but I think that I because this is Women Empowerment Month, I want women to take back control of their sexuality, take back control of their life. So if you are at a season in your life where, for whatever reason it is, and you don't want to necessarily have sex, you have that right. And don't let nobody make you feel like you can't sustain from having sex because one, or A, you've had sex before. Two, you have children. Or maybe, they know something that other people don't know. Maybe you did it last month. But this month you're saying, I don't want to do that again. As a woman, you have the right to say, I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to do that anymore with you. That doesn't mean.
The thing is too, it's like, at least to me, I feel like if I have to pressure a woman into sex, the sex ain't gonna be right anyway. I don't want to pressure anybody. I want them to desire me the same way I desire them. So I want it to happen natural. I'm not gonna.
So why do men
rush
pressure
you or
women then?
anything. That's because some guys it just.
Because it's almost all flat, and I've been told this numerous times. If you're not giving up the sex, then it's nothing that we need to talk about. That's pressure.
Yeah.
That's adult pressure. That's peer pressure. That's nasty work. That's crazy.
A lot of it is mental though, because a guy, like certain things that intimidate some guys, it don't intimidate me.
Okay.
Some things would just be a challenge. Like I've even dealt with before a Jehovah Witness who hadn't had sex in like 13, 14 years, only had one child, and her daughter's father had passed like many years before. And it's like, I wasn't like disrespectful. We used to work together, whatever. But just having conversations, and I'm not a Jehovah Witness, but I know how to speak the language of the people. So a lot of times people would have religious conversations at this particular job. And just when I gave my points of views of certain things, it was in a way where I spoke where everybody can understand. It's universal. Because if we really look at it beyond the religion, as far as the rituals or something, if you learn how to speak to people and look at the moral of the story, then you can be able to vibe with everybody.
And you vibed with her, and she came off her panties?
We just started getting close or whatever, and then we end up
having sex,
dealing with each other. Yeah, but we end up moving together, living together and stuff like that.
Okay.
So she still wanted to get married and things of that nature. But it's like I wasn't in the rush to do all that during that time. And then I would say
Somebody asking a question. Sex is easy. After you get that off, what's next?
they asking you and me, or both of us can
I
answer
guess
the
both of
question.
us. Yeah.
You want to answer first? You
No,
want
you you answer first.
to? To me, and I feel like you the same kind of individual too. So your answer might be similar in a way. To me, it's way beyond just sex
Yeah.
because sex is easy. That's why I say
Hmm.
I'm not really pressed or hounding nobody. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're mine and we're together, then that's a little bit
Different.
different,
Yeah.
especially if we've been doing it or whatever, that's different. But far as me, I'm a businessman. I'm out here trying to accomplish things.
Yeah.
What's our goals?
Yeah.
Even if we dating, we need to, in order for our relationship, even dating, to go where the heights where I'm trying
That's
to take it,
key.
we need to have goals. We need to think about the future. What's the plans?
Yeah.
Even if we have a business that's separate from each other, I'm gonna do everything I can to help
Yeah.
you in your business
Yeah.
and all that too. But what's our goals? What money we putting to the side
Hmm.
for traveling? What money we putting to the side to
Hmm.
do this or do that? So we have to be able to learn how to support each other, have each other back, and think about the future because tomorrow's not promised. But at the same time, you should be planning and prepping for
Yeah.
what do you want your future to be, especially in the age we are now.
And is
What
she
do
in
you
that
want to do?
future?
You know what I'm saying? So it's way beyond sex with me. I need to be able to have conversations, and I'm old school. I like to listen to the slow jams and relax and chill. I want to be each other's peace
Hmm.
or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with lighting the candles and break out the massage table and all
Hmm.
that type of stuff. I am. I like romantic things and traveling and getting into jacuzzis and stuff, but I'm also business minded.
Hmm.
So I like family functions and events and stuff like that too. I like the old school barbecues and different stuff. We don't have a lot of that these
Yeah.
days no more, at least in most families. We have it some places, and maybe like if I go down south with my family down there, that's down there. But
Yeah.
here, unless me or my one auntie that's left or
Yeah. We
something
don't
like
do
that
that in
put
my
it together,
family
we
at
don't
all.
have it too much.
Everybody is secluded to their own household, their own, family or mate or whatever. But I think that too, as an adult, especially if you've over 40 years old, in my opinion, as an adult, I think we waste too much time um worrying about what other people think. Thank you for calling Detroit Table Talk.
What's going on, sis? Yep, I'm being anonymous too. What up, though, brother?
What up, though?
Hey, handsome.
Y'all is not going to get me in this. Not no inboxes for me today. Anonymous.
We know you are.
Right.
Well, I got to get on this topic a little bit. I just think that when it comes to this sex thing, we don't understand how major it is. We
Yeah.
grown now. Sex is major.
Yeah.
It's no more that we doing this as a minor thing. It's so much stuff connected to sex. So, when we reach out for that person or individual, we definitely should have some mind games, some strategy attached to it.
Yeah.
Because when I look at females when I look at a woman, I look at her as a socket. When I enter her, it's the energy that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
It's a spirit that I'm looking for. I'm not just trying to just dip in and just catch whatever you got to deliver. So I had to be real cautious as a man, because good sex will open up a new a certain kind of door, right?
Yes.
That good sex, boy, is something different because you got to deal with what come with it,
Okay. And
right?
then everything go out the window because it's so good and you want that next hit. You know, if you, it's like a drug, you know,
It is a
some
drug.
stuff go out the window and you look up 2, 3, 5 years from, afterward, and you can't believe how toxic the situation is in, the situation is that you're in because the sex was the bomb.
Right. That's why it needs to be, studied out. I think you need to have a real study on who it is that you choose to deal with. Now, when we were younger, it was a little bit different because we was moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
We was going through the growing pains. But once we done got through the growing pains, come on, everything else is just pain. You know what I'm saying? The pain and pain.
Yeah.
So I just think that when you get with that thing called sex, they need to have a deeper agenda.
Yeah.
Because like I said, both of y'all are businessmen and women. You know what I'm saying? Entrepreneurs, and plus y'all are, good in character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have dreams and real substance in life. So you look at it, you're like, okay, you can mess with somebody that can, come in to just ruin that stage.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well,
Let me ask you a quick question, bro. I
Okay.
turned you down for a hot second though, so my mic won't on the speaker. But I'm gonna turn the speaker back up. I'm gonna turn mine off.
Okay.
Now, from a male's point of view, I said
Mm-hmm.
that I feel like, at least with me, so I'm just gonna ask from another man's point of view. A lot of times women think
Okay.
if a man come quick, I'm not talking about the 2-minute brother type of dude. I'm just saying a guy who know how to handle himself and whatever.
we fire
That
ladies.
if he comes quick, usually it's because he's really not into her like that.
No.
Really into, and she be thinking, "Oh, my stuff is bomb."
It's fire. Okay.
He came quick.
Oh,
But for me, if I come quick, that means I ain't like her like that. I'm
You
just
trying to hurry up and get
I'm
up
just
out of
trying
there.
to in and out. We done started or whatever. If I'm really into you and feeling you like that and vibing, that thing is gonna be like we gonna like how them songs, all that all night long and all that. That's what I'm gonna be on. But how
mhm.
do you feel about that?
Well, I think y'all both are right. I think it's a mixture of both. It can be some good stuff, you know what I'm saying, that can lead to something that's, jumping off fast, or it could be some terrible, or it could be some niggas could be just on some he could be on some months ejaculation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And just trying to, hurry up and get off real quick. I mean, it's a mixture. So y'all don't no long answer in that.
Cause
That's my opinion.
cause it's like if you in a situation and you get all like hot and bothered and you ready to go, especially if you got the liquor in the system or if you've been smoking
Oh yeah.
or any of that type of stuff, and you zoned out, but then it's like your whole energy changed. Like you might be thinking all different type of stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But then if you start really vibing with them and going through with it, and it's like that, it ain't on point. It's like once you come, the whole energy just change like instantly.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And that's the point of no return too. Once you get,
Y'all gotta know
especially when you didn't.
y'all gotta know y'all stroke count now. You can't be just coming up in there.
Nah, it ain't got nothing to do with that. It ain't got nothing. That's a good comedy line, dog. It ain't got nothing to do with that. Because at the end of the day, if you really, really lust in a person, you
Yeah.
really, really want that person, it can go fast. It
Yeah.
can go fast and just off that theory yourself. Like,
Absolutely.
okay, wow, I want to now. And then now I finally got to protect you. It's like, but then, you guys, I said this to you women, though, please, no nigga want to label them. That's one thing that we hate. If you sitting there just laying there, I don't care how good your ass is, it don't be nothing. Because we want action. It's like kind of action time. You got to get in there then, and you got to bring in imagination alive, right? So you just laying there because you think you got something good in the pocket, but no, baby, we don't care about that. Let's get this action moving,
But did not see now. Do you don't think that's pressure to put on a woman? Because if you got a
No, 'cause
woman that's been, dealing with the kids, working all day, having to come home, cook, clean, and then having to make sure that, her significant other is taken care of. And then, what I'm saying, to get to the bedroom and now you want her to swing off the chandeliers. That's a lot. I'm not saying that it
I
should.
think that may be the problem right there. Right, what you just said. You thinking that you got to put something together for us. It should be something that we both bring it to the table. We are now at this time when we get in that bed. It's time to gain back some of that energy. It's time to really, get spontaneous. So
Yeah.
when you think you serving me, then you just took everything away from what we doing. Because it ain't about it's about serving each other. We both coming to the table to drop off some good. And if we ain't doing that, then it's no good.
And I like what you just said. We should be serving each other that way, and that's a really good point. And I want men to understand what he just said. We should be serving each other. Don't sit in the corner. And I'm just gonna say this because I know quite a few men who does it. Don't just sit in the corner and play a video game. And you see your wife, you see your girl. You know what I'm saying? Running around the house like a chicken with her head cut off, trying to make sure that everything is in its place. And then when it's time to go to bed, you didn't kind of stored up your energy, and now she's depleted. And now you want her to,
Because
flipping it and dipping it and all that stuff. And she like, baby, I'm just.
Because now you are mentally disturbed. You just did all of this work. You
Yep.
doing all these details. By the time you get to the bed, you really don't even want to sex this nigga because he watched you do all that.
Exactly. It's a mental thing. Absolutely. Me in my mind, I'll be thinking like, did he even see me sweeping and mopping and trying to put stuff? And this nigga want me to do what? Now, I'm not saying I won't do
Yeah.
it, but I'm saying it will make me lose the energy that I would want to have for him. But in my mind, I'll be going over all the 50 different things I just did that he sat and watched me do and didn't offer to do anything. So that's important.
Right.
That's deep. And I'm glad we're having this conversation because we have to look at ourselves in these situations and stuff like that. We really do. But we thank you for
Yeah,
calling.
because most definitely, and to keep it anonymous, we don't need no inboxes, none of
Okay.
that. No, I'm just playing. I love
I
y'all.
love you.
See y'all tomorrow.
All right. And and that's
All right,
that's
peace.
really important. And I want people to understand that as adults, I was gonna say before he called, as adults, we have to have clarity on what we want. I think the battle comes in social media, have us going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We have to solidify within ourselves what we want, what we desire. And then that way, when we come together with the man that we're possibly looking at, no, there's no outside voices that's getting in the midst. I've heard, women tell other women, stuff that's just, it's just crazy, like outlandish. You don't know what a man want and what a man desires, what a man loves. You can, like Rico was saying, you can have the most beautiful woman on your arm. Meanwhile, he looking at another woman across the room that you would consider average. And he'll turn around and marry the average woman over the supermodel, per se, because she does something for him that you don't do.
Yeah.
And I just think that we have to clarify and solidify within ourselves what we want, what we desire. That way, when you come into the table, you're not putting everything out on the table, what you heard or what, your boys say that should happen or your girl should say, what you should, take from him or whatever. It's a partnership, and my relationship, I don't want to be like everybody else. I've never subscribed to that whole thing that social media have going on. And that goals, their relationship is my goals. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors. I don't ever want to mimic my relationship based off of somebody else. I remember my pastor when I was in my early 20s. My pastor wife got up and I'm sure because she heard a lot of women say, you know, to their significant others, you see what pastor do for his wife, you know, you see what pastor do, whatever. That's unfair. That's unfair to put, you know, expectations on the man that you're dating, you know, especially if they're not in the same tax bracket. You know, they haven't been brought up culturally the same, or, you know, their mindset is totally different. You know, she had to literally get on the pulpit and tell women, stop putting your boyfriends and or your fiancés in front of the pastor and comparing the two. What my husband have, he may not have, you know, gotten yet. You know, that doesn't mean he's not gonna get there. But don't say, oh, for me to marry you, it has to be a 15 karat, you know, 15 karat ring. What if he can't get a carat? What if he can only afford a band? So you're going to bypass a good man because he couldn't give you a 15 karat ring like the first woman got? That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm going to backtrack a little bit for a minute. Since we was already talking about Beyonce, I'm going to use her again for an example.
You like Beyonce?
She all right. What I'm about to say is confirm what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
It was something that you were saying what some people might look at like average. Like I just know a lot of people look at her as she's beautiful. I can name some more too, but
she's a beautiful woman.
But if I had Beyonce right here in like a Jill Scott or an India.Arie or something, I would choose the Jill Scott or the India.Arie before I would choose Beyonce.
Wow.
And that's just like, with me, is because when I listen to like their interviews, the way that they talk, when I listen to their music and stuff, the way that it makes me feel. In my spirit, I'm a lover. I like love. I still believe in
he
love.
A lover, ladies.
Yeah, so that's another thing, backtracking to going to a question that was on here. Is she says,
after the sex,
if the person come quick or something like that, if both are satisfied, what's the issue? In that case, it really wouldn't be no issue. But me in the place where I'm saying,
someone said I'm watching live from South Africa. Thank you for coming in the comment section. We appreciate you.
Where I'm saying it's just like, for an example, like I say, I like love, I like affection, I like chemistry. I like to, so me, I'm gonna do all I can to try to, if I'm really into you, to please you. So you might be pleased with me coming quick, but most likely that's not mentally how I'm gonna think, especially like in a woman like you. Like you say you ain't had sex in a long time, this, that, and other. So if anything, if you gave me that opportunity, I'm gonna try to make it the best situation you done had in your life. I'm gonna try to leave you there curled in the fetal position. You know, when I'm done, I'm not gonna just try to just get in and get, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I would take my time. I would, you know what I'm saying? The foreplay and you know what I'm saying? Make it romantic.
That's so good that you just said that, because I was just about to say, because a lot of men don't do that. They don't think that far out. They don't make the situation the best situation to have a woman to feel safe in and or relaxed in. They just want to hit it and quit it. And I'm not necessarily meaning that, like, you know, technically, like they just want to get in and get out. No, I'm saying is they don't put in even the effort, you know, to make that woman, you know, feel relaxed where she can give her all as well. You know, they just want to set up something and, you know, swing by at an ungodly hour, you know, come in, get what they want, and then be like, all right, baby, I'm finna go home. You ain't going home after you didn't. You better lay your butt down. That's all I'm saying. You better lay down and chill out. You ain't about to make me feel like some kind of hoe, like I was. No, we're not doing that. And I think too, what you think about this, Rico? I think that as adults, you know what you want. You should know over 40 what you need in your life to progress, naturally and spiritually. How long do you foresee yourself dating someone before you marry? Because I'm noticing that people who go in with the agenda to date with a purpose, find a wife or a husband, and they're together like for decades. And people who maybe date for an ungodly amount of years, which I don't understand, soon as they get married, they be ready to get out. So my question to you is there a timetable that you have at the age that you are that you would date someone before you consider marriage?
Nah, it's not a timetable for me. Like, far as I wouldn't put, oh, it got to be at least 2 years. It got to be this or that. But I don't think it necessarily take that long. And then it depends on how you approach it. A lot of times it just depends on what you want. But I do think it's like everybody takes like some people you can know your whole life, but you don't know them. Some people you can know a short time, in the way that y'all build together and talk or whatever, you get to know them quicker. So to me, it all depends on the type of person that you are too. A lot of times, if somebody been together for, I would say even 5 years, if you've been together 5 or 6 years, and y'all, that's if y'all believe in getting married. Because some people don't even really believe in marriage, or some people have issues where the insecurities, why they, you know what I'm saying? Some people feel like, oh, you're going to change soon as we get married, which sometimes it do happen. So it all depends on the person. But if I see you have the type of character and and the things that I feel that I would see in a wife, I will say I have to see you as a wife, because the real marriage to me is not the ring, not the ceremony and none of that. It's the connection between that man and that woman. So if you making me feel already that connection of a wife, in order to become my wife, you're gonna have to present yourself as wife material in the first place. And I'm gonna do the same as the way I carry myself. You would look at me as somebody who I would love to marry that person, because that's how you already carry yourself, with the respect and the dignity and everything.
So the way that you would present yourself as a husband, or the way that you would approach someone you see as a wife, is it different than someone you would approach that you see like, yeah, I don't want to marry her, I just want to have fun with her?
Most definitely the approach is different, because if I just want to have fun with you, I'm not going to pressure you either. But it's like, if you just somebody I'm having fun with, of course, I'm not going to wait as long. If you're talking about sex, I'm not going to wait as long as I would for somebody I see who could be a future wife, because I'm trying to get them to know them on two total different
But you say you're not going to
levels.
wait as long?
As long. No, if I'm just trying to have fun with you, then you just for fun. I'm not gonna put no year, no 6 months or none of that in just to have fun. We just go and spend my money and getting drunk and hanging.
Why you say your money? Why can't you spend her money too?
No, because that ain't how I go usually in those situations.
That's not true.
With somebody just trying to have fun.
Now, do you know that to be true because of you, or do you know that to be true because that's the word out on the street that women don't contribute?
I wouldn't say that, because I'm a different caliber dude. I've been around numerous women who contribute, and a lot of my circles, and actually a lot
always
of
try to
people
contribute.
who I've dated personally, I've dated more corporate women than I have like the girls that's just in the streets and stuff. I've dated both in my lifetime though, but it's like most of my serious relationships have always been with career women and stuff like that. So I've most definitely been around women who don't mind helping, who don't mind supporting, who don't mind spending money. But I'm just saying that's still different, because that's the type of woman who you would look at as, like I just said, those are women who I was in real relationships with.
Okay.
Now, it's a difference between the woman who was not knocking them, but I'm saying when I used to work in the bar, not saying there wasn't any good women there, but some of the women were in every guy phase and this, that, and other. They were just, not saying they was messing with every guy, but they were just fun. Not saying the sex was just fun. I'm saying they were just fun people.
Okay.
They were fun. They liked to party. They liked this. So sometimes we might have been partying, having fun, and most of them was just like friends. But we may have crossed those boundaries here and there because you partying, you drinking, or whatever. Y'all cool, y'all hanging out. Sometimes things happen. But some of them people, I knew that they wouldn't be like a real relationship, especially one of them who drink too much. Because some of them, one day y'all having fun drinking, other days that drink might hit them the wrong way or whatever, and then they get to acting crazy or something. So you know what I'm saying. So
I got 90
came
days.
across all of it.
I got 90 days to 6 months.
90 days, 6 months for what?
For us to really have the conversation of what we're doing.
Yeah,
All my relationships that I have had have been really long term.
yeah.
So I don't see myself at the age that I am wasting quality time with someone who's not dating with a purpose.
Yeah.
I don't want to look up a year, 2 or 3 years, and I've been with this person and we're still talking about, let's just see how it go.
See, that's a difference.
My last
If
relationship was
it's
like that. No.
If it's like if you in a situation, in most cases, where it's like we're actually dating, it's a difference between actually dating, going out to dinner, going places, and that's different than just somebody who you just having fun with. Not say that you don't do that.
Are you looking for
sometimes
God to be in the midst of
with,
your relationship?
Most
not
definitely,
really?
because God is in the midst of everything. If you ask me, you know what I'm saying? God is in the midst of everything. And that's the only reason I'm allowed to even breathe at all, period. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if
So do you think that God will prolong something, especially if you're trying to do it the right way and do it his way? Do you think God will prolong? Because God don't take God a long time to say yes or no. However, do you believe that God will tell you who your wife is?
I believe it's signs, but I believe everybody view God differently. Like, even if we believe the same religion and even certain things, beliefs might be the same, it's going to be one part or something that's different because we're all individuals. So it's like we could be twins and have the same DNA and everything, but it's going to be certain things about us that's always going to be different. I feel like certain things will always be revealed to you, but I don't feel like everything, if we dealing with God, I don't feel like everything happens like that, because God is the best of planners. So God plans things for eons of times to come.
But
You know what I'm
if we
saying?
look at the
So-
Bible, when did God prolong making a decision in the Bible? At any time.
It's not necessarily a decision that I'm speaking on, and it's like we can't go off of just say, okay, in the Bible, is there any time where he prolonged on something? Because it's like all of it wouldn't even be there in detail. Because if you even speak about that, it's like when the world was created,
He just
as a
spoke.
whole,
He
it's
just
certain
spoke and it
stuff.
happened.
He spoke and it happened. But it's like, do you feel like it was? Do you feel like it was any evolution or certain things? That's just like if you look at anything in life, period, no matter if it's a thought, if it's a plant, if it's a child or whatever, it's work being done in the darkness that you may not be able to see. And that's the same thing when we dealing with God. You can't, like, the true power is inside of the darkness of your mind. Not saying in a negative way, but I'm saying in your mind, something starts with a thought. Everybody, you can't see it. You have to bring it into fruition. That seed that's in your mind is that thought, it ends to grow, and then you bring
But
it out.
but
The
even
same
what you
thing
just
with
said is true.
children or plants or everything
Yep.
grows and evolves. So just because it seems like it came out of nowhere, that don't mean that it wasn't being
Absolutely.
prepared in preparation and thinking, okay,
Absolutely.
the pros and the cons. If we do it this way, that might happen. This might happen. God already sees all these things ahead of time. And a lot of time we don't understand, because something that could look at
But
as
I'm
negative,
trying to get you
it
to
could be
answer.
positive.
But I'm trying to get you to answer a question when it comes to, do you think that God God will tell you that Susan is your wife?
I believe it depends on the person, because everybody needs something different. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, depending on the individual, certain things and signs are going to come to them differently. That's just like, I haven't been celibate for years. So the way God might present my wife to me might be different than the way God presents your husband to you, or the person who you finally, because it's like, God might bring your husband to you and you might not even wait until y'all are married. You might just feel something and it feels so right that you might not even wait to marriage. But I'm pretty sure it would be in a situation where you know that y'all are dating, y'all connected and growing, so you already foresee it going in that direction of marriage anyway.
Well, I think what I'm trying to get at, it goes back to the question that I asked. Do you think that God will tell you who your wife is? Do you think that God will supersede his word when it comes to free will? Meaning that there could be 4 or 5 different women in front of you.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can present somebody to God and say, Lord, what you think about her? What you think about her? God won't supersede our free will. So at some point, I think my thought process, at some point, you as an individual have to make the decision. And then God will bless that decision. So my question again is, and this is to people in the comment too.
Yeah.
A lot of times I know we've used this and I've stopped saying it because I just know it not to be true anymore. Sometimes we just be like, well, I'm waiting for God to send me my wife. And I'm waiting for this and that and that. I don't think that's accurate. God is usually waiting on us to move because he's already given us directions through his word, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, what he spoke to you in your quiet time, your prayer time and stuff like that. Sometimes we prolong things in our life because we're looking at it, if I can say, through rose-colored glasses. God sees stuff in a pure state. Sometimes when we look at situation, it's because of everything else and all the voices around us, which interferes with us making a decision, a conscious decision, right, wrong, or indifference, based off of all the talk that we've heard. You know, this is one, but we have a million podcasts out there. And if you turn on any podcast on any given day, people are saying different things. So it's a world of information coming in and out, in and out, in and out. And at some point, you just have to, not talking about you personally, but we just have to make a decision and stick to the decision that we make.
Yeah, me too. I believe like my wife, I possibly, it's very strong possible that I've already met her. That I might just haven't taken her serious or something or anything at this time or something. I've met some good women. Now, sometimes the person who really God has for you be right in front of your face, but we too busy looking for something else.
Yep.
Or whatever, for whatever reason. Sometimes it's right there. And then we have to also look at it as like, as it says, we are born complete yet incomplete.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's still like sometimes we're looking for, even myself, like some of the things that I might be looking for, it might get, what I really need might get twisted a little bit with my desires.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Well, God will give us the desires of our hearts, but our desires have to line up with his desires for us. And I think that's where we lose, you know, perception of what, you know, we're out here looking, you know, for. You know, I hear people say all the time, God will give me the desires of my heart. I want this, 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 and this. But first we have to ask God, is those are the desires that you have for me? Will that line up with what, you know what I'm saying, the purposes and the calling that's, you know what I'm saying, on our life to accomplish whatever it is that we need to accomplish? And, you know, I think sometimes we just get off course, trying to insert our desires, our fleshly desires, into the mix with our spiritual desires. And then I think a lot of times too, we stay in situations way past its expiration date, way past.
I think
know.
I've done that before. I think with me, it's more or less I want to be in a relationship that I'm sure
Mhm.
of that person. I don't want to be in a
Mhm.
relationship where I feel like I'm settling for less or just settling like some people. I just want to be married, so or whatever. It's like they have these qualities and
Yeah.
this, so or I don't want to be in a situation where I'm just in a relationship because it's safe.
Yeah.
So everybody's different in that. Some people might feel
A
like
safe
because
relationships ain't nothing wrong with.
there's nothing wrong. That's what I'm saying. Everything ain't for everybody. Like some people might be like, this person makes me feel safe. I'm good, taken care of, good. But it's still bigger than that. To me, that's just me
Yeah.
because if you don't stimulate me in certain ways, and I'm not talking about physical,
Yeah.
but they could be physical sometimes too. But I'm saying in the mental way or certain stuff, you can know how to cook. You could have all the money in the world. You could do or whatever. I'm still not just gonna settle for less because I feel you can be the perfect woman, but you might not be the perfect woman for me.
That's right.
Because I don't even want to waste your time and hurt your feelings. So why, you a good woman, why hold you up from being a good woman for somebody else if it's not exactly what I'm looking for? And I don't want to end up like wasting somebody's time and really because say if I like everything about them, but it's something that I know it'd be an issue if we prolong it or we go too far into a relationship. And I'm not going to try to force myself to, because some things, like if I'm not connected to you in certain ways, it's going to become a problem sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Later on, and you might end up hurting that person's feelings. So I'm not going to be selfish and just be so looking at somebody that's a safe place.
Yeah. Someone asked the question, how can you be sure of that person? And then the next question is, are we going off God's law or what we want? So the first question, how can you be sure of that person? Sometimes it's a faith walk.
Yeah.
Sometimes you make sure that everything is lining up with what you desire, based off of God's desire for your life. And I think I have to say this for myself, because I know that there is a calling on my life. There's no way I can just hook up with anybody.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way. So first I have to make sure that they complement the gift that God has on my life. And then once that's, something that I'm comfortable and safe with, then some other things can be negotiated. You understand? We have constitution, or I call foundational principles. There are certain things that just have to be there. There's no negotiation when it comes to that. Like, I am not a smoker.
Yeah.
My part of my constitution or my foundational principle is I don't want to date, marry, or be with someone that smokes. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to smell like a cigarette. I don't want to smell like weed. That's just something that I just don't want to put up with. I may have some wine or something every once in a while. Well, if I'm, connecting with a guy and all he does is drink, 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 well, that's going against my constitutional values. So that's not somebody that I will continue to date and hope that he change. Some things we have to cut off at the head. We don't want to prolong stuff and get so involved that now it's hard to release them, because now we have soul ties.
Yeah.
We didn't have sex with them. We didn't treated this person like they are our spouse. And now when God is telling you, or you wake up and be like, I know this is not my person, but you're still holding on to that person. One, you're holding up yourself from the person that God has for you. And also you're being a hindrance to them. You're holding their significant person up because you're in a place where they should be.
Yeah.
So I look at that, when I'm considering if that the person is for me. One, do they fit, rightly fit, join, to my spiritual connection. I look at the man that I'm going to date and or marry, can he pray for me? If I'm sick, can he lay hands on me? Can he rule well? First of all, rule his life well, that I'm comfortable enough for him ruling my life. Like, can I follow him? Can I, is he a good leader? So when it comes to me,
Yeah.
what's for me may not be for you guys. So I don't want you to use some of the things that I have for your life, but
Yeah.
there's certain things that I just look at. You know what I'm saying? Um,
And I agree with that. I just want to add this real quick before it slipped my mind. To kind of answer the question, how can you be sure about somebody? When I mentioned that, I'm not necessarily saying because I can't control her.
mhm.
So I'm not necessarily saying I'm just sure that she's this person or that person, because something can happen in her life she could change.
Yeah.
What I mean, I'm a man, and as a protector and a man, part of my job would be to protect my woman.
Mhm.
So partly I'm saying I'm looking at myself, saying I'm sure. I need to be sure that I'm gonna handle her hurt in a proper manner.
Yes.
I need to be sure that the way I feel about her, that I'm not gonna do anything that I feel would hurt her. Because if she has certain qualities that I like, but if it's something she has that I don't like, that I know might become a problem, then I wouldn't even want to waste her time. So that's what I meant by sure of. I want to be sure that I'm not going to hurt her feelings. I want to be sure
Yeah.
that I feel she's enough for me, especially if I know she wants to be in a committed relationship and we're talking about becoming husband and wife. I want to make sure that I'm putting her up on that pedestal and handling her heart in a proper manner. I
Right.
don't want to be another man who's come in her life and broke her heart or whatever. I don't want to come playing. That's just like any man who deals with you. So it's not just about sex, but the amount of time you have faith in God, but also you've been holding and saving yourself. So anybody who you do give that to, it needs to be somebody who knows how to handle you, your feelings, the situation, and everything with care.
And
If
that's
they're not
important.
going to handle it with care, then they might as well not even cross that line. That's just my
As women, we got to watch everything. We have to watch everything. I'm not saying overanalyze everything, but you have to watch everything, that he does. How do you feel in his presence? Does he disregard you? Does he disregard the way that you feel? Does he disregard your opinions on things? We have to make sure that we're not giving up our voice in the midst of trying to be chosen or picked, by a man. We got to make sure that, and I was talking to Rico, I think last week or the week before last, we were having a conversation about, relationships or whatever. And one of the things that I mentioned to him was a man that wants you in his life will plan to have you in his life. So that means, like, say for instance, Thanksgiving come up. And he may say, well, or his boy may say, hey man, what you doing for Thanksgiving? You should swing by. If he doesn't include you in his plans, he doesn't see you in his future. Hear me really good when I say that. If he does not include you in his plans, he does not see you in his future. A man that includes you in his plans will see you in his future. So if his boy say, man, what you doing for Thanksgiving? I got to talk to my girl. Or we going, here, and then maybe we can stop by. If he doesn't use the term we, or he say, I'm going here or I'm going there, you not it. we miss information vital information because we just want that thing to work. Sometimes a man is telling us what it is, but we want to make it something different. If a man is telling you, let me give you an example. If a man is saying, I don't want to be married, you know, right now, and that's something that you desire, you hooking up with that man that don't want to be married right now is only going to lead to issues because you're still planning for a future with this man and he's not planning anything with you. We got to have these really deep conversations because I think as a woman, and I'm saying to the women that's watching, sometimes we put ourselves in these predicaments and these situations. And then when you hurt, you want to make it seem like he have hurt you. No, you hurt yourself because you thought that if you put the sex on him real good, you thought if you sucked him really good, that would change his mind. And that is not the case. You can do all those things and that man still gonna do what he want to do because he's already told you what he's not going to do. And I just really think that we have to empower ourselves to safeguard ourselves. You know, of course we want a man that's going to protect us, but first we got to learn how to protect ourselves. And our heart is one of the main things that we have to protect. You know, if a man tells you that I don't see you as my wife, nigga, just because you still having sex with him, that's not going to change. Because you could have been having sex with him for 5 or 10 years. Here come a woman out of the blue. He have sex with her, and then 4 or 5 months, they, announcing their engagement. And now you're looking crazy because you're like, I done been with him for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I have done this for this man. I have co-signed. I have allowed him to. But you set yourself up for that because he told you. Rico, am I saying right? Or, I'm off.
I would say every situation different, but I would say, yeah, because I have been like, I like to be real. So I have told people like whatever my issues is with somebody or whatever it is, or if I don't see nothing like serious between us, I don't have a problem with speaking on that.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
But have you spoke something like that and a woman still clean, thinking she can change your mind?
All the time because they like what they like.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times you have a lot of you have men like that too or whatever, but most of them be just on some, you know what I'm saying, just like, but certain women, it's like they just feel like maybe that you're for them, so they would continue to try to hold on no matter if you tell them that or not, or so.
And let me say this, I don't think, I'm going over it in my mind real quick, like a computer. I don't think I have any man that's in my space or in my circle that don't treat women with the utmost respect. One, women, just because a man treats you well does not mean that he wants you or is flirting with you. That's something that we really have to come to grips with. And two, I think that because he treats you well, that's just basic stuff, to be honest. I think that we have to learn how to treat ourselves well. So when a man treats us well, we don't automatically see ourselves at the altar with that guy. Yeah. Every man in my circle treats me very well. But I'm not naive to think that every man that treats me well want to be with me. You know what I'm saying? Want to, wife me or anything like that. Some men have been taught and have grew up to just know how to treat women. And some women won't let go because the man knows how to treat them and they think that eventually he'll come around. I've thought that before. If I treat him well, if I do right by him, eventually, he will see all the goodness in me and it will change. No. The only thing that brought me heartache, heartbreak. So no, we got to see stuff for what it is. I don't have a man in my life that don't make sure that I'm safe. Even my producer, when I leave out of his presence, he texts and makes sure, text me when you get home, text me when you get in the house. All my male friends do that. Let me know you made it home safe. I just have good guys around me. So my expectation of a way that a man should treat me is not something that's outlandish, because it's something that I get on a regular. I don't, when I go with a man, and I know one of my friends, he be fussing at me all the time. When I go out or I'm doing something, even when we out in the community, as a woman, because I'm by myself and I don't necessarily, I want to say necessarily, I don't have a husband, I am used to doing, a lot of things. But my male friends, they get upset. Like, they don't want me grabbing bags. They don't want me taking out trash. They don't want me lifting chairs, moving tables and stuff like that. They be like, what are you doing? So I'm used to being treated like a queen. So in my mindset, I be thinking like, why do I have to dummy down who I am and what I desire because you have certain people that have not quite grasped the way that you treat a woman?
Yeah. I don't feel that a woman should have to, like, or a man should have to dummy themselves down for anything or whatever you desire, especially if you know what you want and you know how you should be treated and how you want to be treated. Um, all men are not, well, all men, but a lot of women are not used to it too nowadays. Sometimes you try to open a woman's door, they not really used to that.
Yep, that's true.
Sometimes you might try to put a woman on a pedestal. They don't even want to be put on a pedestal.
My son told me that. I told my son, because they open up the doors for me. Every man that I'm with open up doors for me. And I told my son one day, I said, you always remember when you're with a young lady, you open up the door for her. He was like, Mama, some of these women don't even let you open up the door. They get an attitude if you try to open up the door. Like, I can open up my own door. I've never not had a man to properly put me in a car. I've never not had a man to make sure that, my coat and stuff was on. Some of the stuff I see is just ridiculous.
And those things that I teach early, like, even if I'm, like, first and foremost, though, if I'm not taking you serious,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to meet your family.
Yeah.
I don't want to meet your children, especially your children. If I'm not taking you seriously, when I know that it's something that we gonna take serious, then I'm cool with meeting your family or your children and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But even if it's not like, if you have sons, and if they were young and little and stuff like that, and I'm around a woman, I teach those type of things to the sons too, to open the door for the mother, you know what I'm saying, for their mother the same way I do. I try to teach them how to be gentlemen. So that's what I would do, but sometimes I teach them too, open the door for your moms. And this how, you got to teach that respect or whatever.
Yeah.
But
women have to demand it. And I'm not saying out cold, like, you gotta do, no. What I'm saying is, men will treat you the way that, first of all, you treat yourself. And then men will treat you the way that they expect, that you want to be treated.
Yeah.
So I think that at the end of the day, it goes back on us individually. But I think we just have so much stuff on the table that it prevents us from connecting. It prevents us from loving each other. It prevents us from just, having a covenant with each other. We got so much stuff going on that I think we talk ourselves out of healthy relationships.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, because society has told us that men have to make so much money. They have to be able to take us to these fine dining restaurants. They $30 is no longer enough for, lunch, for him to send you money for lunch. It's like, who raising y'all?
A lot of stuff people want be overrated too.
That's crazy. Like, where you going for lunch for $30 and you at work. That's crazy. And you talking about $30 not enough. What are you getting for 30 minutes? You only get 30 minutes to eat.
Some people do stuff to just really try to show off, and then they do stuff for other. Like I done seen crazy stuff throughout my life, but also when I was working in the bar, I done seen women running up tabs in the bar, buying everybody drinks, buying other men drinks and all that, and waiting on the guy, the old factory worker guy who they kick it with to get there. Tab already waiting on him. He owe a couple of $100 before he even walked out the door.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know. I guess I'm the type of woman. I'll be thinking like, okay, we could have used that money to pay a bill.
Like a situation with me, I was dating this girl, right? It was her birthday. And I don't have problems buying people drinks and different stuff, whatever. So we first came in, I had bought her and the people at the table or whatever, her sisters and everybody drinks and stuff. So that was cool. So I went on to pay. A lot of time I pay mine early. I ain't trying to hold on and let them stack a bunch of stuff on me.
Yeah.
So long story short, I go to get me a drink and then they already got a tab for me and was like, yeah, I'm like, what's this for? Oh, we had got some drink. I said, can't nobody order no drinks on me.
Yeah.
I already paid for and bought what I want, so you put that on somebody else. I didn't tell you to do that.
Yeah.
You're not just going to put something on me like I'm the designated person buying everybody drinks around here. Oh, I just knew she was with you, and that don't mean nothing. I bought what I wanted to buy and who I wanted to buy stuff or whatever.
So do women do that for real? Like they expect their man or the man that they're seeing to pay for the friends that are with them?
Sometimes a woman may be like that. But also sometimes some of the barmaids, because I knew the barmaid too.
Okay.
At this particular bar. So she might have been like too, like, girl, he got some money to do with us on the way. But no, that ain't what we about to do. If I had the money to pay for it or not, we not about to even start that or open that, because that ain't how I get down. So I had to nip that right there. Like, I ain't even paid the bill. I don't know who paid it. It probably fell on the barmaid.
Was she mad at you afterwards?
No, I just let them know. Don't
do that.
But they kind of put it off on the barmaid, like, oh, she said that she know that you would get it. Nah, we don't get down like that. That ain't how it go or whatever. And I don't have a problem with doing stuff, but you're not just gonna force my hand into nothing or whatever. Whatever I'm paying for needs to be agreed upon by me.
Right.
It ain't like I just gave you my card to be like, just let the tab run. I don't do that no way, because y'all might be putting, any and everything on there. I don't get down like that.
Did we get the videos uploaded?
Yeah.
You can hit whichever one you want. Yeah, we're gonna go to a video.
Which one you want first? It don't matter.
It don't matter. Whichever one your hand click on.
About.
Yeah, that's what I say. Just click on anyone. It's all about sex and withholding sex.
I'm going to do the one with the guy first.
Okay.
That's why when a woman shuts herself off to a man sexually, it's because she feels shut off from him in other areas. So when you don't respect her feelings, when you don't appreciate her thoughts, when you don't value the way she thinks and the things that she has to say, then she's closed. Watch this. If she doesn't feel close to you, she's going to be closed to you. Because it's hard to open your legs when your heart is closed. Because a woman's heart and her womb are connected. So you keep trying to fix it in the bed when let me give you something. Let me break it down for you fellas. There's a hormone. It's a very important hormone. It's the love hormone. And it's released in a man's brain and body when a man has an orgasm. Here's what's deep, fellas. In order for a woman to get that powerful hormone moving through her brain and body, she doesn't need to have an orgasm. Here's how she can get it. She can get the same chemical moving through her body through a deep, focused, attentive, fun conversation with you. If you look into her eyes and say, what you have to say to me is important, and you have her attention, that'll turn her on. And if you learn how to open her up emotionally, she'll open up the windows of heaven and pour you out of, hey! I'm a witness.
is an excellent depiction of how women feel. You know, if she doesn't feel wanted, she doesn't feel desired, she doesn't feel heard, she doesn't feel accepted, she doesn't feel safe, none of that is going to make her want to, by you, none of that is going to make her want to lay down and sleep with you. Like none of that. And I think that we keep sliding past this conversation because when having those conversations, there's a level of accountability that each party has to have. And I think that tells us if a person is really into you. Because if you never want to sit and hear what's in my heart, if we can't talk about heart issues and stuff like that, then there's no way I'm laying down with you. I don't care to, you're not getting you're not getting wet off of me.
Yeah, I think with men and women, sometimes it might be a little different. Like
Yeah.
some men might just don't care to talk about it or this or that, or they don't, but some women, maybe some men too, but I don't really, you would know more about that than me, even though I'm a man, but I just think differently than them. But I will say I've come across some women who they really like you for real. They might really like me, really be into me, might even love me, but they might sometimes don't even have the mental capacity to even know how to articulate themselves or to even discuss or anything with love because they haven't been loved properly or been taught or even seen it. And some people are so most people are afraid of love and they run from it. And they even taught these things like somebody is bitter and then went through something and they teaching that stuff to somebody else. A lot of the generations, not to say that we didn't have that, but when some things started to change when it came to relationships and stuff, I do feel like probably like our parents and stuff, they still believed in love and relationships. And you had some people who was on some street stuff and this, but you still had street people who believed in love. Some didn't, some did. But I believe when it came to like when that drug era really hit hard and people was teaching their daughters to talk to the drug dealers and to be, when the word sack chaser came out and stuff like that, that's when it's like people started teaching in a way that was like negative. It always did exist though, because you did have some people who would be teaching
they went hard in the paint
from a young age, like to be money driven and stuff like that or whatever.
Girl, if he can't do this for you, why are you gonna give him the time of the day?
Later on, I believe. You know what I'm saying? And that caused a lot. So then when you have people mindset of the sack chaser, then you have guys who feel like, oh, I can just buy what I want. But then at the same time, if they really desire something more than that, then sometimes they say, I'm paying somebody to walk away from me for the most part. They don't want to commit to that or whatever. So it's kind of like
I believe
people
that.
are just twisted.
But how do we get back to love being the center of our conversations instead of battling back and forth? Because I don't know about nobody else. I love love. I love love. I love how it makes me feel. I love how it makes me feel when I see it from other people. I love love. So how do we get back to that so that feeling comfortable being with the opposite sex doesn't cause us to be in a state where, or a state of freeze, where we got to stop because, of our traumas or whatever.
You have to stay your course. It's like, if you really truly believe in love, then you have to still stay on that path. Like, a lot of people are followers. Well, everybody else is doing this. The world is like, I don't care what the world doing. It's about what I'm doing. And who I'm dealing with, we can be outside of whatever everybody else doing. We could be in our own world as far as I'm concerned. If she believes in love for real and I believe in love for real, then that's what we're going to do. And if we have children or anybody around us, that's what we're going to spread. We're not going to just follow what everybody else doing. That's how you break it. If you just a follower and doing what everybody else, or you allow society to break you down,
Yeah.
then you already lost.
That's true. That's true. Let's go to the next video and y'all tell me what y'all think about this next video.
Men will trick you, lie to you, tell you everything you want to hear. I love you, all of that to get what they want. Okay? And they have no remorse, no shame. They don't care. Why? Because at the end of the day, they're not emotionally attached to you. They don't care what you think about them because they don't value your opinion because they're not emotionally attached. They don't see signs everywhere of you because you left them. They don't dream about you unless it's a sex dream. They're not looking for people to help you get back together. They're not looking for, miracles to help you get back together. They're on to the next chick because they're not emotionally attached. And when you get emotionally attached, that's exactly what women do. Well, I need to get him back. He was my soulmate, blah, blah. No, he wasn't. He made you think he was so that he could get what he wanted. And after he got what he wanted, and after he was bored with you and done with you, he moved on. Okay? So ladies, I'm not saying you need to be the same way. I'm saying you need to look out for yourself first. Stop getting so emotionally attached. You shouldn't be attached to anybody unless you have their last name or y'all are married and building a life together.
I don't know necessarily about that. I agree to a certain extent. Now, she said she don't think that we should get emotionally attached to somebody until we marry. That's hard to do because we are physical beings. We are emotional beings. So as women, it's hard not to feel an emotional connection to someone that, even how crazy as it may sound, even if it's something minute or they made us feel good for a moment, you know what I'm saying? Or we had a momentary brush with our imaginary thought of how it can be. I was just saying a minute ago, men can treat us a certain way and we already at the altar, you know what I'm saying, based off of one situation or maybe a couple of situations. So it's hard not to get emotionally attached to someone, but I do think that we have to make sure that our emotional attachment is matched with his emotional attachment. And you can tell when people are not emotionally attached to you.
Yeah.
What you think? Women too emotionally attached, huh?
I think that, not to say that, I understood what she was saying.
Yeah.
But I think part of it is that she kind of was saying what's a defense mechanism for her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Which at the same time, if you always on the defense, not saying you just go for anything, but in order to really have true love,
Vulnerable.
you're gonna have to sacrifice something. You're gonna have to let your guard down.
Yeah.
Or whatever in order to really obtain that.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that many people have. You have to put yourself in a vulnerable state. The same thing if you giving your life to God.
Mm-hmm.
You have to sacrifice
Mm-hmm.
some things in order to really obtain your goals or
Mm-hmm.
whatever you're trying to accomplish or trying to achieve. Plus, it's like, you have to get to the point where you trust each other. Like, if you my wife or gonna be my wife, I have to be able to trust you in my life anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of putting our life in each other's hands.
Ooh, that state of vulnerability is something else. Especially right now, if you're single and, outside, they outside. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard, but, there are ways that you can be of certain that some level of vulnerability you release to the individual that you're dating, but you also have to know how to pull back when it's not reciprocated. You know what I'm saying? So let's do the last video before we get up out of here.
I only had those two.
Oh, we only got two. That's okay. So I think that you want to say some words to sum up your part, and then I'll sum it up, and then we'll be up out of here.
None I could think of, right? You know,
So,
might inspire me.
so for me, I don't think women are just walking around withholding sex from men. I just don't. I just think that the man that she wants to be emotionally attached to or vulnerable around, she just haven't met, and or maybe you haven't allowed her that safety space for her to be in a place where she wants to experience sex again with you, you know. And sometimes, you know, it doesn't even have anything to do with that man. Maybe it's just a decision that she's making for her best interest, you know, when it comes to what she can handle. I always put stuff back on myself, you know, anyway, you know, because I don't want somebody to feel bad. So if something is not, you know, I'd be like, oh no, it's me. It's nothing that you did. I just, you know, I just feel like, and most most people do that. You know what I'm saying? They just go ahead and bite the bullet, you know, so that they can move on. But I know certain times in my life, I wasn't mentally prepared to be in a relationship and or be a wife. And there's still some days that I'd be like, man, I want to be married. And then there's some days I wake up and I'd be like, I like being single.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to jump out the bed. I can lay here. If I wanted it to be a pajama day, I don't have to worry about him looking over and saying, so you just going to lay there all day? You know, so, you know, I think I have to get to the point where, you know, even within myself, you know, am I ready to be like married and all the responsibilities that come with that, or not? I just know that at this moment, on the 29th of March, at, I don't know, whatever time it is, that I just don't want to have sex right now.
Yeah.
Now, you catch me on a Sunday, the 30th, at 2 o'clock, or tonight at 9 or 10 o'clock, I may think different, you know. That don't mean I'm going to have sex, but I may think different.
See, the thing is, it's like certain things don't intimidate me than my approach to things. Because if I started to date you, it wouldn't just be to sleep with you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting to know you. We dating. If you're not ready to have sex right now, that's cool, because at least I know. Now, it's a difference, because some people will be dating, but they'll be out there having sex with somebody else.
Yeah.
It just ain't you.
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
That's not me, and nobody can come forth and say that's me.
You know, so in a situation like that, a man has to, instead of going in it with the thought process, oh man, she that's the no, I'm not gonna try to convince you nothing. I'm not gonna try to talk you into nothing. The key is to find out from, like, what does she need?
Mm-hmm.
What's her wants? What's her desires and stuff like that? And add that with showing her real love, real affection and stuff like that. Then that's going to make her, and not saying with the intention to get some, but I'm saying if you love her in a proper manner and treat her in a proper manner and make her feel something that's outside of what the average guy is doing, and you touch her spirit like that, and you touch her mentally like that, she's going to ultimately wants to give herself to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all about how you view it.
Yeah.
It's about, you know, like even when we were young, how some guys used to try to pressure the girls who was virgins so they ain't getting none. When I was young, I had a couple of virgins in my life. I never pressured them. They felt safe with me. They felt comfort. And that's one thing, most women want to feel safe with you. They want to feel comfort. They want to feel protected. They want to feel that you're not just going to play them any type of way.
Ladies, don't give up sex to nobody that you can't call in an emergency. And I'm not talking about it has to be financial. But if you stranded on the road or your tire flat and you can't call a man to say, hey, my tire just went out. I'm out here, on the road by myself. You giving up sex to the wrong person, because the man that loves you and wants, he's going to make sure that you safe. You know what I'm saying? He going to break his neck to make sure, even if he can't get there, he going to make sure that you not out there stranded on the road. That's what my daddy has always told me. Don't have sex with some man and you saying, hey babe, that light bulb has been out. Can you change that light bulb? And 2 months then went past and you still looking at a light bulb that's out.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. So that's, we just had the conversation on sex. So, hey, do what you gonna do. But what you do, don't push off on what somebody else should do. If the woman is saying she's not having sex, respect her boundaries. Respect her decision. Respect that that's the place that she's in right now. And if you truly like her or you digging her, I just go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? Just go with the flow. But don't make her feel like she gonna be this woman that's gonna be in a house full of books, because I don't like cats. But I'm gonna be in a house full of books by myself, lonely. Just because I'm not having sex don't mean I'm lonely. Just because I don't have a man don't mean I'm lonely. I am not lonely. I am just alone for this period in my life, but I am not lonely. I got enough people in my life that I can pick up the phone and call. And I'm part of a great organization of sisters. Anytime I feel like I just need to get out the house, I can call any one of my sorority sisters and say, hey, meet me at the bar. I want to go get some catfish. Or I just feel like I need a Pepsi and need to talk. So don't always feel like because a woman is not giving it up, she by herself and she gonna be by herself. That's the mindset of an immature man/boy. Because that's not true. You can turn on social media every day and see somebody in their 70s, getting married. People in their 80s are getting married. So you are not counted out, women, because you choose to take a stand for your life. If he choose not to be a part of that picture, amen. That's his right. But don't ever do away with the standards that you have based off of what somebody think you should have. I am Carmen. This is Detroit Table Talk. And that's my take on it. I appreciate Rico, my producer, for stepping in and having a conversation with me. I think we should have more of these conversations, but I think we should have these conversations on the level of encouraging people to come together, to find a new way to connect with the opposite sex and get our households back built up and, standing on family. Because when the family is strong, our community is strong. And when our community is strong, we have children that go off and they create strong families. And then it becomes a snowball effect. But if our kids see toxicity in the household, they go on to be toxic and to have toxic families. So let's be a part of the love community. Whatever that means for you, as long as you're not hurting, harming, or disturbing anyone's peace. I and Rico, because he's the producer, we'll see you back at the table next Saturday for another conversation. Next month is Autism Month. So we will be acknowledging Autism Month. We'll be acknowledging MS. We'll be acknowledging child abuse. Do you have the flyer for the community dinner for autism? I want you guys to come out and be a part of the blue flyer with Dr. Batanji and Dice. I want you guys to come out and participate. And guess what? If you can't come out and participate, send in some donations.
This face on it, or you talking about the Paint the Town one?
The blue one.
Both on blue. One Dice face is on it.
Is it for the Pistons?
No, that's the Paint the Town one. I got that too.
Okay. So come on out And as always, I am always accepting donations because I am in the community and I am always doing something for our youth and I am always doing something for our homeless community. So if you ever want to donate and just be a part of the greater good, $ Detroit Table Talk, any amount helps. We have to start planning some things for the summer for our homeless community. We have adopted a men's shelter, so we need to get back down there and be a blessing to that shelter. So again, $ Detroit Table Talk. I thank you for having a conversation with us. I thank you for all your wonderful comments. I love to have the guests in our comment section also participate in the conversation. Thank you for our caller. His name will remain anonymous, but know that I love each and every one of you, and I will see you back at the table again next week.